Hello everyone, this is Paul, an Unreformed Nerd. I hope you're all doing well today. Welcome back to Through the Darkest of Times. So yesterday we made it through Chapter 1. We've made it to the start of Chapter 2. Hey Frosty! Oh good. I thought they were going to have to make me go through the whole Hitler Youth rally again, and that was weird. I didn't want to do that again. But yes, I hope you're all doing well today. Yesterday we did pretty good, I'd have to say. I kind of got the feel for the game and everything that sort. Fred, he got arrested, but fortunately let him out pretty quick. Apparently they didn't have enough evidence after trying to break into the factory. Which I thought we are... Oh, we opened the factory and now we can actually break in and do stuff. But right now, that factory is surrounded by SS soldiers, so no, we're not going to do that one today. Bruno's getting kind of hot too. Well, one thing I did want to do, let's go ahead and get some money in. 50 marks. Okay, that's not as much as I was hoping. Cheers. Are you talking about Earthbound, Ness? I loved Earthbound. Oh yeah, he's in Super Smash Brothers. Yeah, that's probably how you know Ness. So we were able to get some explosives. I just don't know how to turn those explosives into a bomb. Because here we are in Berlin, as right in front of the start of the Olympics. Apparently one of my missions is to potentially bomb the Olympic village or something of that sort. As well as to give information and documents to reporters who are in the area. Yes, bring intel to the foreign journalist. So those are the two things I'd like to do, but to do that more successfully, I think stealing some SA uniforms would probably be useful, because that would allow me to do operations without attracting so much attention. The Olympics. No, I knew Ness before. Good. Have you ever played Earthbound Phoenix? I know that's probably a little bit before your time. I still have it on my Super Nintendo. That cartridge is worth like $400, $500. If I kept the box and the book that came with it, it's going for like $1,000, $2,000. Ridiculous. It's a good game, but not that good. Hey, Slothy. I'm very well. How about yourself? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Oh, and thank you for the bits, Frosty. So we got a few things that we're taking a look at here. Help people cross the border. That takes 3 uniforms. Yeah, there's a lot of choices to choose from here. But yeah, I think the first thing I want to do is get a uniform myself. So you're streaming in the Bonfire Discord. Figured I'd stop in and hang out. Hey, I appreciate that. I assume you're a streamer as well. Oh, thank you, Starships. I figure you're a streamer as well in that case. What do you typically stream? This is tough. Because all of my people have at least some layer of suspicion, which makes anything I do a little bit more dangerous. Hey, by all means. we're cool people here. Actually, most of my regulars are like small streamers, so definitely don't mind if you want to share a bit about your own activities. Reformed cool. Ha! Thanks, Frosty. That's going to be a high-risk mission, but I really think I need to try that. Roman, you need to just disappear for a week. Try to get rid of at least one of those red dots if you can. Bruno, they don't like Social Democrats, so not the right person to send to ask for money. These people like Social Democrats, so yes, you're going to go ask them for money. And that leaves me with one guy, Gerald. What can Gerald do? How much money do I have? I only got 60 marks. Yeah, you go ask those people for money. Let's just hope that our mission to get those uniforms goes without someone getting shot and killed. Okay. We're out asking for money. Got 25 marks, but shit. He got seen, so he's probably going to have a higher heat rating next term. This is a big one. So we meet at the pub. The witness leaves. Oh, thank God. And we did get a uniform. All right. So we met at the pub. Certain number of SAs get drunk and nod off regularly. We intimidated the witness and they leave. Fred gets the key to the room of the SA member, grabs a uniform and gets out. So we do have a uniform. And Roman's just going to chill out for a week. Get a little bit of morale back. Currently I'm playing through Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Ooh, nice. Usually speedrunning. Ooh, you're more talented than I. Play through something normally. Yeah, I'm just a very low skill gamer. I just play things to have fun. So no speed running or anything of note on this channel, at least. But yes, we go and ask the Christians for, or no, the academics for money, and they gave us 23 marks. So plus 11 morale. Reform speed runs in dying. That's true. It is a good gift. I did lose 4 supporters, but I did get more money. New law against degenerate art. Anti-forgery banknotes. Okay, so new banknotes. Foreign sounding stage names banned. Oh, that's detailed. Alright, so we're in June 1936. Just before the meeting, Vera Klinner takes me aside and tells me she believes Roman is working for the Gestapo and is snitching on the group. Ooh. No way, Vera is like my best agent. Let's talk to Roman. He looks surprised and says he has no idea what I'm talking about. No wiser, I still need to make a decision. Let's try to isolate Roman a little bit. I won't allow him to join any critical missions for a while. Vera looks displeased when she hears about my decision. So -5 morale from those two. Interesting. Alright, so I can't steal another uniform from the bar. I can talk to business people. Yes, the Nazi youth. We should probably take care of that. Oh, wow, and Roman went down, but Bruno went up. Okay. I do a bit of that myself. Yeah, any areas where you see the soldiers means that there's just higher risk of any of those missions in that area, which sucks. So we should try to avoid them if we can. We could go dancing, but our morale's doing okay. Supporters are fine. So yeah, let's go see if we can convince boys not to join the Hitler Youth. So let's see. Calm would be good. So this is a good mission for Vera. Looks like a little bit of help would serve her well, though. Yeah. So you two go take care of that. Talk to business people. Who do the business people want to... Mission unlocked. What mission was unlocked? Man, this is extreme danger here. Yeah, they're not coming back from that one. Yeah, even if I give them an SA uniform, that's not going to work. Yeah, I don't really need to get supporters. Okay, talk to the businessman. Okay, you're slightly better at this, so you go meet that guy. Hopefully we can get some contacts that will be beneficial to us. And this is the last dude. Yeah, you're okay for that. We lost 4 supporters, but we did get 23 marks. Roman meets in Weissenes with a friend from the old days. Turns out the friend opposes the regime even less than back then. He went away. Okay, yes, the Hitler Youth won. Tries to convince them not to enter the Hitler Youth, but they don't seem to be interested. They are too excited about the Fuhrer. So that was a flop. Fred meets with a friend. Picked up 2 supporters, but no new contacts. We meet with a business... Ah, shit. Hide. The witness leaves. Hey, we did pick up one, but he was seen. Turns out there are still people not happy about the regime. Picked up 3 supporters, though. Through the train window, I can see landscapes rushing by, mountains, forests, villages, and cities. I haven't left the country in years. Oh, Germany, how much have you changed? Oh, Germany, what have they done to you? The train stop. Seems like we have reached the border. Someone opens the door to my compartment. A man wearing a German border control uniform stands in the entrance and barks, "Hail Hitler, papers please." He takes my passport, checks it carefully, and finally hands it back to me. Without a word, he closes the door. The train starts rolling again, but a few minutes later it stops. A second time, someone knocks on the door. Bonjour. Passport, s'il vous plaît. Hand him the passport. Brief look at my photo, my passport, and at me before handing the document back with a smile. Merci beaucoup. Je vous souhaite un bon voyage. I hope you have a good trip, I'm guessing. The train starts again. How friendly. Oh yes, very friendly. Gotta love border control people. They're always so friendly. We arrive in Paris. I grab a small suitcase and leave the train. On the platform, a young woman is waving at me. It's been years, but I immediately recognize Claire. I first met her in Berlin, and now she is my contact to the resistance here in Paris. Bruna, welcome. So good you're here. We hug. How is the journey? It's interesting to leave Germany after such a long time. Oh, I can imagine. Can I help you with your luggage? Luggage? No. We meet our friend at 3 o'clock at a nice cafe not far from here. Should I show you the city in the meantime? Yeah, sure. Show me Paris. We walk down a boulevard toward the Seine. How do you say the river in Paris? Seine. Whatever. Claire points up at important buildings and monuments and tells me about their history. People sit on the terraces, drinking coffee. Everything is wild and colorful. The clothes people are wearing, items for sale in the shop windows, the advertisements on the city walls. What do you think? Asked Claire. Yes, very wonderful. How are things in Germany? The Nazis have become meek and mild. The Nazis are becoming meek and mild. They are trying to use the Olympic Games to convince the foreign press and foreign governments that Hitler's Germany is just a normal country. But under the hood, there is the same terror as before. Incredible that you people are still holding up, says Claire. I don't know if I could stand it. How do you do it? No choice. Which part is the worst? The stupidity of their ideas, the suppression of the truth, the destruction of art, the terror. I'd say the suppression. Maybe your time here could distract you a little bit. Oh, here we are. This is where we're meeting the others. She points at a cafe by the river right in front of us. Let's meet. A waiter brings us to a table for 4. Our friends have not arrived yet. I take a seat and enjoy the view of the river and Notre Dame Cathedral. Claire orders. The hands on my watch strike 3. Oh yeah, I never looked that up, Phoenix. Do you think our friends are on their way? Ah, you Germans and your punctuality. You are in Paris now. Get used to a little bit of laissez-faire. Oh, she points at a couple moving towards us, and here they are. That's absolutely true. Every time I was in Germany, if you were there less than 5 minutes before the time that you're supposed to be there, you were like late. The two introduce themselves as Hannah and Richard. Both are German communists who left Germany in '34 to escape the persecution by the Gestapo. I tell them how things have changed since they left. Richard looks at me and says, "You know what you have to do, don't you?" That's why I'm here. It's good that you came. From what you're describing there, there's no way to convince the German people to get rid of that fascist right now, says Richard. Yes, it looks as if the majority of Germans are happy with Hitler. Yeah, sadly. Be that as is, said Richard, even if every single German supported Hitler and his regime, we would still need to put a stop to it. Having the support of a large swath of the population cannot be an excuse for terror. Is it oppression if the people choose it? There is no excuse for terror, yes. If Hitler persuades the people of Germany, making them unwilling to or unable to stop the regime, then people outside Germany need to stand up and stop him. What do you mean by people outside of Germany? There's only one people with a clear anti-fascist agenda and the strength to beat Germany, says Richard. The people who managed to defeat the atrocities in the bourgeoisie. Okay, so we're talking about the communists. I am talking about the glorious compatriots of the Soviet Union, of course. Who else is willing and able to defeat Hitler and the fascists at this point? Should we collaborate with the Soviets? Hitler means war, we know that. Do you know that? The people of Germany have been blinded and will follow him like lambs to slaughter. Your group is tiny and isolated. You must join sides with the only decidedly anti-fascist country in Europe that is left, the Soviet Union. How can we join them? Here says Hannah, and reaches a note with an address. Go to this place in Berlin if you want to join forces with the Soviets. They will help you. I need to think about it. We need to leave now, says Claire. There is someone else you need to meet. Who do you mean? Asks Hannah. That bourgeoisie deviant George. Claire nods. You'll see, said Claire. When we meet him, don't listen to George, says Hannah. He's a bourgeoisie and a scatterbrain. George thinks the world will become a better place by hanging out in expensive Parisian bars. Hey, I think hanging out in expensive Parisian bars would be a good way to go. That's enough, Hannah, says Claire, and walks out. Let's go, Bruno. Goodbye, Comrade Bruno, says Richard. It was good to meet you, and Hannah's right. Do not listen to George. I follow Claire across the still crowded boulevards. It's getting dark, and I see more and more people dressed up in gowns and dinner jackets who look like they're on their way to an evening event. We enter a bar next to a giant hotel. The wooden counter in the bar is the longest I've ever seen. Over there, says Claire. Okay, let's just follow her. Claire leads me to a young man sitting in the corner of the unusually long bar. He has a bottle in front of him and takes a long sip from the glass when he notices us. George, hello, says Claire. This is the visitor from Germany I told you about. Cheers, says the man, and points his glass in my direction before emptying it. Welcome to Paris. Thank you. My name is George. I'm a writer for the Voice of Freedom in the City of Love. He says we should dispense with the serious things as quickly as possible so we can get on to the fun stuff. Wouldn't you agree? What's his name again, Claire? My name is Bruno. No last names. The city might still look free, but the bloody Gestapo has agents everywhere. So Bruno, listen carefully. What do you know about Spain? He gives the waiter a sign. Political unrest, still a democracy? Yeah, I conclude you don't know anything. What you need to know is there will be a civil war in Spain. True. The fascists will try to take over, but the other factions won't let that happen. False. The waiter puts 2 glasses on the bar, one for me and one for Claire. I am a writer. I know these kind of things. I have sources. I am working with the British Secret Service. Something I would recommend you do as well. George fills our glasses. Why would they be interested in working with me? Trust me, they will see what will happen in Spain is more than just some civil war. Spain will be the final rehearsal for the big war everyone is waiting for. Cheers. He holds up his glass and does the same. What big war? Have you ever listened to Hitler? Says George. The man has been publicly talking about his plans for war since 23. He even wrote a bloody book about it, for Christ's sakes. Yeah, good point. George continues. Everything he does is according to the big plan, getting Germany ready for war, win over the people, build weapons, weaken the enemy. The question is not if Hitler will start a war, but when he will start it and who he will attack first. Who do you think Hitler will attack first? I do not know, but I do know that the key to defending this little crazy warmonger is the bloody United Kingdom and no one else. Thank you, Frosty. Someone told me today that the key to stop Hitler was the Soviet Union. I guess you talked to Hannah and Richard. Don't listen to them. They believe that every one of their NKVD and Comrade Stalin lies, even though they should know better by now. He fills his glass again. The bottle is empty now, so he signals to the waiter, who brings a new bottle to the bar. See, I'm a socialist. I should love the Soviet Union, the working man's paradise, shouldn't I? But I don't. To this day, I prefer living in the capitalist France to the place that Stalin made out of Russia. I've heard too many stories from people I trust. So what's your suggestion? Hitler would try to get the Brits on his side. If you had read his book, you'd know that he considers the British to be the natural allies of the Germans if he succeeded in making them allies. You understand? I think I do. If he makes the British enemies, if he succeeds in making the British his allies, he will win the war. If he fails, he will lose it, I say. I like your friend Claire. He is clever. Exactly, because whoever is an ally of the British is also an ally of the bloody Americans. And I have the strong suspicion that the colonies will play an important part in the next big war. He hands me a note with an address in Berlin. Find intel that can convince the British. Convince them that they cannot, never, and under no circumstances align with Hitler. Alright, thank you. Do whatever you think is right, but do what I told you, says George, and smiles. So now that we have all done our duty, we should switch to the joyful part of the evening, Garçon. Why the hell are there no drinks in front of us? Spend the evening with them, go back to the hotel. You know, I think we could all blow off a little bit of steam. George is a great entertainer who manages to keep the conversation away from anything political for the rest of the evening. We spend the great night with him, reminded of more lighthearted times back in Berlin. So let's go back to the hotel. It is late when I arrive back to the hotel. From the window of my room, I see the Eiffel Tower illuminated in the middle of the lively city. Tomorrow, I'll need to return to Berlin and share my learnings with the group. Will Berlin ever be like this again? The day's impression keeps me awake until long after midnight, mixed with memories of old Berlin. Alright, so we lost 4 morale total, but we did get 2 new supporters, so that's helpful. Strikes all over Spain. New Navy training sailing ship. And France minister, Germans must learn to get by with little. Vera is telling a story when I arrive at the meeting, so I saw 2 journalists from the Netherlands who have cornered a German athlete at a cafe and were asking her questions. From what I could understand, the questions were harmless and the athlete seemed okay except for the presence of the strange man who was watching them like a hawk just 2 steps away. That was probably secret police. They say the Gestapo is keeping a close eye on the journalists. They want to control the news coming out of Germany. Alright. Wow, there's so many missions. And I don't have enough people to do them all. Oh, Gerald can level up. Let's go ahead and get your secrecy going, because yeah, you're picking up a lot of suspicion all the time, Gerard. Let's see. Meet with the communist bigwig. Where's the British people? Bring intel to the Secret Service. Very dangerous. It's going to cost pretty much all of my intel I've gathered, but I get some critical intel. Calm would be helpful, and you have no suspicion at the moment. Fred, you're secretive and you are literate. Yeah, let's see if we can just stack the deck here. So with the SA uniform and the bicycle, you have a good chance of success and limited danger. Hey Riley, how's it going? So we'll get you off to take care of that. What's a conservative? Will introduce us to conservatives who oppose to Hitler and his regime. So it's just added supporters, right? But how's it going, Riley? You up to anything fun today? Not really. Well, it's only Monday. A lot of week left ahead of us. How much money do I have? 154 marks. Nice. That's more than I thought I was going to have. I just wish I knew how to get bombs. Maybe stealing another uniform wouldn't be a bad idea. Let's see. Document a concentration camp. Ooh. That would be important piece of information that the journalist would certainly love to receive. Yeah, I've already broke into the factory. So I could go there to get intel. Ooh. Yeah, that's not looking good. All right. So yeah, I think getting started on a next mission. Workshop. That's probably what I'm going to be needing to make a bomb. Need to talk to the workers again to be able to access that. Ooh, they really don't like you. They don't like you so much, but they don't hate you. But they actually like you. So let's go ahead and talk to the workers. Yeah, maybe doing a red herring mission. If I can get a layer of success here. 60 marks for a 50-50 chance. Let's do it. Just because at this point it's getting hard to do some of the harder missions. Lost 4 supporters, but we picked up 23 marks. Oh, we're starting with the red herring first. Oh boy. The authorities, okay. Hey! We were successful. Roman was seen, but that should bring the heat down on everybody else. I'm talking with the workers. 8 supporters, and I was not seen, so that's fantastic. Vera, ooh boy. SA, hide. Oh, Vera died. Oh, that's not good. So we met with the intel member of the British Secret Service. The SA show up. Vera says stay calm. The SA are retreating after they kill her. She could successfully hand the intel over to the agent. I don't know how, considering the fact that she's dead. But morale is up. That sucks. Himmler is now chief of the German police. 23 anti-fascists sentenced to prison. Get your tickets for the Summer Games now. Towards the end of the meeting, Roman tells us about an encounter with a tourist in the city. So there were 2 ladies from England admiring the Berliner Dome, and I was close enough to overhear them. Well, every week it goes down 10. And I was close enough to hear them. Did they say anything about the Nazis? Hang on, that's what I'm getting to, Roman says in Deep Threat. So they're saying, oh, everything is so lovely, and I heard all these terrible things about persecuting and killing Jews. Clearly, none of it's true. I almost jumped in right there and then there, just set the record straight, but I could see that there was a policeman nearby, and it wasn't worth the risk. I walked away. Yep, I think that's for the best. We don't want the police to know who you are. So, find a new member. But hey, look at the bright side. Suspicion is gone with everybody. Alright. Well, who's the most useless? Yeah, let's send Geralt out to find a new member. Damn it. Vera was like my highest level one. Alright, but we talked to the workers, so let's go ahead and observe the SA officers. Secretive, National Conservative, and Curious. So you're National... No, you're Social Democrat, not National Conservative. So if I send you two out... Oh, and I lost the SA uniform. That kind of sucks, too. Those are hard to get. Tells about a remote garage that we could use to set up a workshop for the group. Can Bruno do that solo? Looks like it. No preparation, no danger. So it's just 40. Print leaflets. Build a bomb. That's what I was hoping for. We lost 4 supporters. Got 25 marks. Bruno rents a remote garage. We can use it to set up our own workshop where we print leaflets and build equipment for our missions. We follow the SA, learn more about their plans. He finds out that some of them used to drink in a pub, and then one of them still regularly gets drunk there, that he nods off and stays there all night. So I should be able to steal a new uniform. Geralt talks to dedicated supporters to find out if they'll be willing to join a group. He picks 3, but he was seen. Alright, so we can get a social democrat, an anarchist, tax collector. Anarchist tax collector. How does that work? And an anarchist welder. You're very literate. You're strong. And I did lose my anarchist. Vera was my anarchist. And she was also my worker, so I don't have any workers. So Samuel. Anarchy. But I also need the roads built. You're strong. Yep. Congratulations, Samuel. Welcome to the club. Hopefully you don't get shot and killed. Gestapo arrests 800 anti-fascists in Berlin. Opel fires striking workers. Grundgens Marines. Mary's Hope. Oh. Gustav Grundgens marries an equally famous actress, Marine Hope, in Berlin. Welcome, new guy. During our meeting, Samuel is angry after having dinner with his parents. Okay, new guy. There's bigger problems than eating dinner with your parents. They had a friend over who's a member of the Nazis. The ambassador was actually angry that the regime had toned things down. He was upset that they tore down the anti-Semitic posters. He said the party is embarrassed, but they should get back to what they were doing, making Germany great again. If we ever needed a reminder, let's all remember things may seem better now, but the real threat is lurking just beneath the surface, waiting to come back. Alright, so, let's see. What do I need to build a bomb? I need 3 explosives. I need more intel as well. Wow. Getting 2 more explosives is going to be pretty hard. Could get some intel over here. That's low risk. It's only going to be 40 coins. So if I break into the factory, but to break into the factory, I need to spread leaflets. To spread leaflets, I need a stack of leaflets. And to print leaflets, I need stacks of paper. So, yeah, that factory is going to be hard to get into. Is there anywhere else I can get explosives? Spread books. Books might be a little bit easier to get a hand on than going through buying and then printing leaflets. Okay. Oh, I lost my calm person too. So Fred, you're probably going to be the best. One to two books. How many books do I need? Cost 3 packs of books. Alright, I'm glad I checked. 2 to 3. 2. 2. 2. So yeah, this is the only combination that would get me 3. And even then I have to roll pretty well to get 3. Alright, you two head out there. Hopefully you get lucky. Then I could send the rest of the guys to get the SA uniform. Even then, that's pretty questionable. Let's do it. Shit, that leaves me with 2 marks in the bank. This is probably not going to go well. I'm enjoying a cup of coffee on a sunny afternoon outside one of my favorite cafes when the man with a suit approaches me and asks with a thick British accent, "Good afternoon, may I intrude for a moment to ask you some questions?" Going ahead. All right, have a seat. I say, what kind of questions do you have? I am John Dunworth from the Western Mooring News in England. I'd like to collect the thoughts of everyday citizens during my visit to Berlin. One of the most important goals right now is to get the truth to the public, and here I am talking to a journalist. He pulls out a small notebook and a pen. All right then, may I ask your name and whether you are a German citizen? I am Schmidt. And I am indeed a citizen. Before I finish the sentence, I notice something out of the corner of my eye. A bald man is standing just a few steps away, not facing us directly, but clearly listening in. Yeah, we're definitely being observed. This guy's Gestapo. Mr. Dunworth smiles. Forgive me for jumping to politics right away, Mr. Hubner. I said my name was Schmidt, not Hubner. But what are your thoughts on Herr Hitler? In England, we've heard horrible things, but I haven't seen any of the persecutions I've read about. Alright, I'm guessing this was just a typo from the developers. Don't give a straight answer. Well, it's a rather complicated story with Herr Hitler, of course, to say. The man standing nearest turns his head slightly and glares at me. There's no doubt this is a warning. He's the government handler for this journalist, probably Gestapo. I feel a lump in my throat. What do I tell? What do I do? Yeah, gotta lie. But my mission is also to stay alive and out of prison. Dunworth leads on seeing that the story is complicated. Perhaps you could enlighten me. Yes, let me help you understand. There may have been some unpopular policies at the beginning. I glance nervously at the handler, who is still glaring at me, but overall we Germans are fine with a fewer. It's a lot of fuss about nothing, really. I see. The handler gives me a subtle nod. If you excuse me, I must get to my next appointment, I say in a rush, and I take my leave. I feel ashamed, but if I end up in the hands of the Gestapo, I don't want to think about it. Yeah, you probably don't. 4 supporters, 23 marks. So I have like 25 marks total now. Alright. Were we successful? Damn it! SA officers again. I'm not going to try to challenge the officers. Alright. Gerald got arrested. Mission was aborted. So I didn't get the uniform and I had someone arrested. Hey, great. I did get 3 books, but Roman was seen. Gerald has been arrested. The morale of the group decreases to 68. So minus 14. Why is it that her death seemed to have less impact than his arrest? Geneva decides on refugees from Germany. Hindenburg reaches New York in record-breaking time. More tourists than ever. 35% more tourists. Yeah, go for it, Frosty. Sleep well. Good night. Fred Zweig is visibly shaken when he arrives. I almost had a heart attack on the train this morning. I was at the ticket counter to buy a ticket, and they're looking at me in the eye and handing me the ticket with a friendly smile. Was a man who threatened to kill me only a couple of years ago. He was a brown shirt back then. They obviously found another job for him. Clearly, he didn't recognize me. But back then, he was a thug, and he knew I was Jewish and threatened to kill me. At the time, I had every reason to believe him. I'm just glad you're safe. So, we got a dude in jail again. Only medium risk to break a guy out of jail. Interesting. So let's see. We gotta spend all of my books. Shit. Yeah, the new guy can take care of that. So, you spread the books. And that should give me access to the quarry. And how do I get one more explosive? Yeah, maybe we should just head out there and get... Ooh, they really don't like anarchist workers in the intellectuals section of town. So what can I do here with the new guy? Stack of leaflets. And to print leaflets, I need a stack of paper. So I could head out here and buy paper. How many? 1 to 2, and you have a very low chance of success. But really, that's the only thing of use I can think of you to do. Plus, you're brand new. If you get caught and killed, as long as you give my bicycle back, I could be okay with that. The police released Geralt since they couldn't find any evidence. I mean, we're literally breaking into a factory. But hey, good to have you back, Geralt. Bruno was seen, but we did get some marks. Hey, Froza, good morning. Oh, the SA again. Oh boy. The SA are retreating. Okay, and they were both seen. But at least no one got killed. I take that as a win. Jews not allowed to become soldiers. Friendship agreement with Austria. New airport in Frankfurt. Fred is talking about watching the games in tonight's meeting. I feel conflicted. On one hand, I feel a sense of pride. I mean, I want our athletes to do well and win gold, and we really are competing so well. But when the regime uses the victories of our athletes to prop up their narrative and superiority of the Aryan race, it just poisons the whole thing I say. It's embarrassing to cheer on German team next to Nazi party members giving the salute. I don't want to be associated with that. That's fair. Alright, so Fred is ready to level up. Nice. Let's go ahead and get you a propaganda point. Okay, right now the SA are really heavy in my headquarter and my workshop area. That's less than good. So I should be able to gain access to the quarry. This one needs to be successful. Still high danger. But it cost 40 marks. Maybe do another red herring mission would be worth it. I mean, that'll bring the heat down on everybody. But that's going to be pretty much all of my money as well. Let's go and see if we can weasel a little bit more money out of these guys. They're not gonna like me, but they'll still give me money. That's good enough for me. Okay, we lost 5 supporters, got 27 marks. Red herring mission, this is the important one. Suspicious. Let's stand up to them. They calm down. Samuel has been seen, but yes, we were able to reset the suspicion levels. Bruno's off getting some money. And he was seen. Alright, so much for the low suspicion levels. Geralt's off to get some more money. You're not as good as me, Geralt, but at least you didn't get seen. So it's 6 morale, minus 5 supporters. Spain uprising in the military, big Germany exhibition open, Olympic world broadcaster starts work. I haven't even sat down yet when Fred walks up. Hey, what are you doing about Gerald? I look around and Gerald isn't here, at least not yet. What do you mean? God, you don't know yet. Listen, I just found out his partner is a member of the party. Oh, it's possible. I saw Gerald Klein's spouse wearing the armband and smiling. I don't blame him for this, but still, what do we do? I'm not going to hold him responsible for what his wife does, I say. We just can't kick out every member who knows a Nazi stays. You know, I think this is really stupid. I would have probably kicked out a couple of these guys already on suspicion of subversive activities, but, alright, let's see how the game takes care of that. Alright, so suspicion is low at the moment. This is a good time to move in and gain access to the factory. So let's keep the danger as low as we can. And do we have enough money to buy some paper? We do. So you two go off and you buy some paper. Lost 4 supporters, got 26 marks. Nice. We were able to open up the factory without being seen. And we bought paper, but Samuel was seen. Government public resigns. Germany offers help to Franco. Sorry I'm late again, says Gerald. I could hardly get onto a train, they're so crowded. I'm having a hard time getting around town as well. There are tourists everywhere. Today I read in the paper that the Berlin metro system has served 62 million people in 20 days. Can you imagine that? If we'd spread leaflets at one of the central stations, we would reach a lot more people at once. Aren't the stations heavily guarded? They are, but only during the day. Sounds like an opportunity for us to pull back the curtain and show outsiders what is really going on. Yep, we made it in 1936. Okay, so steel explosives is going to be a dangerous one, of course. And I still don't have enough paper to print the leaflets. Yes, there's 4 chapters, and it goes up to 44, I think. So I think it goes from 36 to 39 to 44. I did a little bit of research yesterday. I'd rather you be more prepared than this, but I think keeping that suspicion level down and keeping the guys with wanted tags away from the explosive heist is probably for the best. And that'll give me 2 explosives. Which means I can send you guys out to buy just a little bit more paper. That's pretty much the rest of my money. But I'm going to need the paper to get the next bomb. This ought to be interesting to watch. As long as I don't screw up and fall apart and die, then yes. Alright, we were able to get the explosive without anyone being seen. That's good. We got 3 more pieces of paper and no new layers of suspicion, which is great. In front of the Berlin Zoologischer Garten, zoo, the train station, flags from all over the world flutter in the mailed wind. I wait for my guest holding a sign that says Thomas Fox. My guest is late. Should I just leave? Let's wait a little bit longer. Just as I'm about to give up, a man comes towards me, accompanied by two boys wearing the white uniforms of the Olympic Honor Service. I recognize them as journalists from the Hindenburg. He shakes my hand and smiles. Hello, I am Thomas Fox. We met on the Hindenburg. Of course, he says. He turns to his boys. Thank you very much. He gives each of them 1 mark. They thank him in decent English and leave. How was the journey? It was great, thank you. German trains have become much better. Still not as good as our American ones, but you are getting there. Well, nowadays, American train system, yeah, I'd rather be in Germany. After a stop at Tom's hotel to drop off his luggage, we head straight to the Olympic Stadium. The Olympic Stadium is covered in banners. Thousands of people are queuing up at the main entrances that lead inside. Loudspeakers set up under every tree play music and blare announcements. 2 towers, one with the swastika and the other with a clock, hold the Olympic rings between them. Wow, says Thomas. I have to agree. Falk gives us VIP tickets that allow us to cut the line to get inside. Inside, we realize without a surprise that we have premium seats. Well, if we have VIP tickets, of course we have premium seats. We sit down and the spectacle begins. Hitler and his men walk over the field. A little girl dressed in white hands him the flowers, then salutes him with the outstretched pale arm. The crowd cheers enthusiastically. So what do you think about all this now? Do your presidents behave like this? Asked Tom. Well, he says the way to say hello are not as strict in the U.S. as they are here, but in general, I think every politician in the entire world loves to be seen with little children. Makes them appear human. How can you ignore this? You are probably right, says Tom, but sometimes we behaves just like any other politician. Hitler takes the girl's hand and leads her from the field before ascending to the podium. Pompous music starts to play, grabbing people's attention. Dhyan Chand was a flag bearer for India in 1936. I do not know of this individual. What was his sport? Hitler will use this opportunity to let the world hear him speak. To my surprise, Hitler gives the shortest speech I have ever heard from him. He declares the Olympic Games to be open. End of speech. The Olympic fire is lit, doves fly, pompous music plays, and even the Hindenburg flies in and hovers above the audience. Men's hockey. Nice. That is impressive, I have to admit. Whatever you think about their ideology, this is extraordinary. They know how to impress people. It's why this is this why the Germans fall for this guy, because you like being fascinated, and that's what he does so well, like Wagner, says Tom. Good point, Tom. However, presidential inaugurations and world fairs seem shoddy carnivals compared to this. I think this little man with his ridiculous mustache has now impressed the world too. By now, the national teams are marching by, greeting Hitler and the audience. Some raise their right arms. Even the French team is saluting Hitler. Well, this is actually a really funny story. Prior to 1940, the Olympic salute was very much the same as the Nazi salute. The only thing difference was the goose stepping was a bit more pronounced from the German variant, and I believe the hand placement was a bit more in front as opposed to the side. I forget which one was which, but a lot of the Germans were thrilled because they saw all these teams from around the world doing the Olympic salute. but mistaking it for the German salute. And yeah, good times. I believe that's what they call the Olympic salute, says Tom. It looks disturbingly similar, though. Okay, I should have kept my mouth shut. Never mind. The game's talking about that for you. But whatever you call it, the word is saluting Hitler right now. Okay. I don't know. It's been a few years since I heard the story. But yeah, it was very close. Can't blame. This here is so impressive that I'm beginning to understand why everyone applauds. Oh boy, should I bring up the concentration camps? Also called the Roman salute. True. They did base it off of a Roman variant of it. But there is no known artistic depictions of the Roman salute. It was only spoken about in some ancient texts that they were able to find and translate. So they don't know how the Roman one looked like. They just interpreted what they read in the books. But the Nazis also decided to try to rewrite it and say that the Romans were inspired by a German salute that predates even the Roman salute. But there is literally no historical basis for it. To tell the truth, says Tom, there are quite a few people in the United States who believe Hitler is right and who wish for our own version of him. We have anti-Semites too, and even most of those who consider themselves Democrats, or at least liberal-leaning, are much more afraid of communism and the Soviets than they are of Hitler at this point. Thing is, there are all rumors, sure, but I have never seen a concentration camp, and neither have my readers. I never saw a Jew being mistreated, and neither have my readers. Bring me proof, and I might be able to convince them. What kind of proof do you need? Pictures or even better film. Bring me something, and I will make sure it gets published at home. Ooh. I will try. We stay for another 2 hours and watch the athletes passing by, paying tribute to the German Chancellor before the event starts to wind down. So what's next on the agenda? Asked Thomas. What has Folk planned for me? I'll bring you to one of the better places in Berlin. You're making me curious, Bruno. Let's go before everyone else in the stadium leaves. We take a taxi to a place called Kudamm in Charlottenburg that Folk had recommended. Now, says Tom, when we arrive, this looks just like the old Berlin, the one I know from 1929, but I had heard that there was no nightlife anymore. This must be staged for visitors. The Nazis closed most places like this 2 years ago. It seems like they reopened them. It looks exactly like the one place I used to go, says Tom when we enter. The dance club really does look just like they did before Hitler, women in extravagant dresses and bold haircuts, elegant men in tuxedos, everyone dancing, chatting. We take a seat at the bar so we can see the dance floor where they seem to be playing. Wait, they are playing jazz? I know this song, says Tom. They're playing it at every bar in New York right now. I can't believe it. For 3 years, the Nazis have banned all kinds of jazz music from being played in public. They called it un-German and degenerate. But here we are, a big place on Kudamm is playing American jazz. Given this, says Tom, taking a gesture toward everything around us, I am afraid most American visitors will come here and tell their neighbors that Germany is doing just fine. That is a country just like any other, and that all the stories about the daily cruelties and mass oppressions are exaggerated. But I'm afraid that staging is just too good. No one will believe you. There is only one thing that would make the Americans turn against your Nazi regime. War. The only thing the average American is more afraid of than communism is another war. The last one almost destroyed our economy for good. That's not really true. World War One made us vastly rich. Most people are still convinced that the Great War caused the Great Depression. I mean, not really, but fair enough. If you manage to find proof that not only is Hitler planning a war, but that it will be a war that affects the US, then you might have them on your side. It won't be easy, but I will find your proof, I say. Good. Let me know once you have it. We call it a night, and I go back to my place and think about what I have seen today. Back at my place, I think. It's all staged to deceive people. No matter what charade the Nazis played today, their intentions are dark and their plans are evil. It's all staged. We must not fall for their farce. End scene. So 3 morale down, -4 supporters. Alright, let me get caught up. India didn't do it. I just read. Hey, good for it. I think America did. If not the entire team, then I think individual athletes did. I think it was like 50-50, if I remember correctly. Yes, all the area mumbo jumbo. Germans had jazz too since 1920. World War I made everyone on the winning side rich. Amen on that, except India, who were not paid the reparations that were owed. Yeah, well, what was the name of the Indian army that the white Brits would call the Indian army? I forget the name of it, but I heard good things about the Indian army, especially on the Burmese road around Gurkhas. That's what I was going for. But yeah, like World War II, the Burmese road. You know, interesting stories come out of that. There's something I don't understand about the Nazis and the racism, says Roman Thumb during our meeting. How can they be so selective about whom they hate? So, there was a line of people waiting to get an autograph from one of the American athletes, and he was black. At least a couple of these people in line had swastikas armband on. Don't they see the hypocrisy? I don't expect Nazi hatred to be rational, I say. That's a fair comment. You have a working Gurkha knife. That would have to be pretty cool. I have a Japanese battle flag and a Japanese pistol. World War II era, of course. But there are souvenirs my grandfather brought home. You have a Ninjato? Authentic? I'm assuming not, but still cool. Okay, so I can print leaflets now. And I need the leaflets to be able to unlock the third explosive, which I need to make the bomb. How many more weeks do I have? That's why I want to know, because I could plan a little bit better if I knew how much time I had left. I mean, last time I understand not telling the player how much time you've got left before the next scene, because, I mean, no one knew when the elections happened that Hitler was going to win by such a margin. But everyone knows when the Olympics are going to end. Like, you have a very set schedule of how long the Olympics last. Your great-grandpa was in the war. Asian front or European front? That's why nobody else from our family went into any kind of war army. We know what it did to people. My family's got a long history. I think we've been in every major American conflict from Revolution to Vietnam. And I've had a cousin... Yeah, I have a few cousins who've been involved in the modern... like post-2001 conflicts, but I don't think I had anyone in Desert Storm. Asian? Burmese front. That's tough fighting. Honestly, I think the European front was a little less brutal. Hard to say. I mean, the Eastern Front, the Russian-German front, that was some brutal stuff. But I mean, at least in France, your chances of getting malaria are less. War is brutal no matter which front. Yeah, amen. So you got 6 points, 6 points, 6 points, 4 points, 5 points in the relevant skills. So yeah, let's send you two out to print the leaflets. How much money do I have left? Not a lot. So I still need like 3 more weeks to be able to get the explosive, then another week to build the bomb, and then another week to plant the bomb. I mean, the Olympics don't last that long. I'm very worried I don't have enough time to do this. Is there anyone else? I can get critical intel. So where is the guy that I was supposed to give? Okay, bring forward intel to the journalist. I guess that's the one that's... would work, but I'm gonna need 2 pieces of intel. I have critical intel, but not normal intel. Could I just go buy intel? I can, but it's gonna take 2 weeks. You don't realize how much logistics go into and still go into rebellions and protests, especially when there's a ban on printing presses. Kind of makes you wonder if you just couldn't do it with a pen and paper. I mean, sure, it'd be less effective, but less chance of getting killed while doing it. Alright, do I have If I had 80 marks, I could just go and buy 2 units of intel and give it to the reform reporter. I mean, there's no way I'm going to get 3 SA uniforms. So the critical intel is useless. Because I think that's the only thing I can use it for. Alright, let's just go and try to get money. Samuel, no one likes you. Why does no one like you, Samuel? Alright, go buy intel. Sure. Samuel has an appointment to work in the factory. According to the information, the Nazis seem to be producing things that they don't want the world to know about. The worker shows up at the agreed meeting point. What he tells us sounds like it could be get the regime in trouble, but Samuel was seen. But we did get 2 units of intel. I'm printing the leaflets. Perfect. Successful without incident. Nice. And we were able to pick 21, and no one seemed to care. Oh, I have Warsaw. I bought it during the Black Friday, November, fall. One of the sales, but I picked it up. I was actually been leaning to play it, but since this one was given to me through one of the Keymiller websites, I figured, hey, might as well do this one first. Fredswig is despondent during our meeting tonight. I asked him what's wrong. I received an ugly reminder that nothing has changed here. I went to a market today when I wasn't allowed to go to in the past because I'm Jewish, but now with the relaxed laws, I went in. The storekeeper flat out refused to serve me. What am I going to do? Complain to the police? No, thank you, he says. He takes a breath. She says to me, filthy Jew, don't think for a second just because things are nicer for you now that we have forgotten. We haven't. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Fred. Cool. I actually very much appreciate your tastes in game, Froza, so I take that as a good sign. An interview with Tom Fox. High danger. Birds of a feather. Exactly. So secretive and propagandist would be best. You add almost nothing. You add more risk than anything else, and same with you. Right, so you two are going to have to do this solo. Good luck, boys. You don't have a great shot, but we're going to have to try. So I need to unlock the factory. Before I can unlock the factory, I have to spread out leaflets. Alright, so... that's a lot of danger. But I don't have a lot of time to waste at this point. And sure. Oh, 40 marks. That's expensive. We lost 4 more supporters, 22 marks. I'm worried about this one. Attacked. Let's fight back. No one died! Alright. I was worried about that. Okay. So we lay out leaflets. Let's do it. The attack is over. The next morning, dozens of people find leaflets and read our message that there are still people opposing the regime. 12 supporters? Yeah, Vera died earlier. She was one of my best ones, so that sucks. Fred has been seen. But we were able to meet with the American journalists. They have good conversation, and Bruno leaves the address without attracting any attention. But Fred, not so much. And breaking into the flat, we'll just send the useless guy there by himself. Samuel's been seen, because you're useless. We come over a small hill and I see a group of wagons next to a handful of barracks where children play in the dirt nearby. This must be the camp. Don't you want to take a picture? Asks Bretta. I take out my camera and take a picture of the camp. The smell of human waste hits me so hard I can barely breathe. I look at my companion. Surrounded by sewage farms, as you can tell, they force them to stay between a waste dump and a cemetery, in between excrement and corpses. I'm not sure if by evil intent, but for Romani, there is no place worse. We're talking about the gypsies now. Not sure since when exactly. I knew a couple of families who stayed closer to Strassenberger Platz. A couple of weeks ago, they were suddenly gone. I asked around and learned that the police had brought them here. According to the new Nuremberg law, Romani people are social misfits and vagabonds. The authorities wanted them out of the city before the Olympic Games. Do you think they'll be allowed to return? I don't think so. As I said, they applied the Nuremberg laws. We will see this happening to more and more people, not just gypsies. If you ask me, they would do the same to the Jews right now if they weren't so scared of the foreign press writing about it. But with the gypsies, no one cares about the gypsies. Most people don't care about the gypsies. They are seen as inferior people almost everywhere. Shush, now we are here. The policeman at the entrance has been watching us for a while. He stops us. Hail Hitler, Sister Berta. He says, blessings to you, says Berta. He looks at me. Yeah, hail. We bring the milk as usual. She points at our hand cart and the milk jugs on it. Alright, go on in. Let's go in. Let's not take a picture right in front of the police officer. The group of children comes running towards us, screaming Sister Berta. They all chatter happily amongst each other. She greets every single child by name and asks them to follow us. Let's take a picture. I talk to the children if I can take their picture. Before doing so, the woman who is washing her son wraps him in a sheet when she sees us. Hello, Sister Berta. She prods the boy who is shivering in the towel. Good afternoon, Sister Berta, says a boy, and bows politely. Hello, Maria, says Berta to the woman. My dear Oscar, so good to see you. How are you today? When the boy doesn't react right away, the woman prods him again, and he hastily says, I am fine, thank you, Sister Berta. How are you, Sister Berta? I am very good. Thank you, Oscar. And this is Sister Berta points at me. I am Bruno. Bruno is a good man and might be able to help you, says Berta. Hello, Bruno, says the woman. So you want to help us, is that true? She looks at me and shrugs. I honestly don't know whether you can help us or not. A little girl from the group of children who follows us from the entrance pulls at my sleeve and whispers, "Can we have some milk, please?" Yes, of course, have some milk. Please, all of you, get yourselves some milk. That's why we brought it. When we are done filling all kinds of vessels with the fresh milk from our cart, I look at Maria and say, Sister Berta says something is troubling you. Maria gives me a suspicious look. There's a strange doctor. Well, he says he's a doctor. I don't know if he really is one. He comes here regularly with this even stranger woman. The doctor and his helpers, they look at us, check us, bodies, teeth, like animals. They take pictures, and they take the children. They bring us to the institute. Yes, it's far from here. You have to go by car. I went there twice. It's really nice, and the food is good there. They give us food, and we can play games, and they ask us questions. It's really nice. I want to go again, but Mommy says I'm not allowed. I don't trust them. I don't know what they're doing with the children, and I don't like it. They measure them. They take pictures of them as if they were exotic animals. I think they were up to something, and it's nothing good. Well, no, it's not. I mean, the whole racial eugenics program was based off of inventing differences between various forms of humanity. Suddenly, children run toward the camp entrance. Here they come, says Maria, and points to the gate where a man and a woman, accompanied by 2 policemen, entered the camp. We should get out of sight. Let's hide in the caravan. We quickly climb into a caravan and look at the group, which is now surrounded by children from the camp. I move towards the group when Maria pulls Oscar away from the doctor. One of the policemen hits her with the arm with a nightstick. Maria cries in pain and jumps back. More people from inside the camp start yelling at the group. Another picture of the conflict taken. I hear the sound of a police whistle and more policemen come running, nightstick drawn. As they beat them, the civilians retreat into the camp. Take another picture. The doctor and his assistants push Oscar into the car parked in front of the gate. As he wails, Maria and the other residents try to break through, but the police block their attempts. The engine starts and the car drives away. Okay, the distraction seems to be over, so this is tied. I stay where I am and I wait for the police to pull back. We should get out of here. The police haven't reacted to the fact that we're here. Better if it stays this way, says Sister Berta. Yeah, let's leave. The best way to help is letting the world know what's happening here. If the police take your camera, you'll have no proof. We leave the camp at the opposite end to avoid the guards. When we safely on our way back to Marzazan, I ask Berta, what did we just see? I have no idea, but I do not like it one bit. Hitler has talked about solving the problem of Jews, the Romani, and everyone else who isn't healthy Aryan in Germany for years, but no one ever seems to ask what solving the problem really means. I don't know, I really don't, says Sister Berta, and looks back at the camp where we see campfire smoke rising in the setting sun. But I only know what we just saw is only the beginning. Oh, don't tell me it's over already. Largely accepted and well respected at home and abroad. At the same time, the Nazis began to exclude Jews, Sinti, and Roma, the disabled, and so-called associate whites from society. It was the beginning of what ended in killings of millions. Your leadership is strong and stable, and your group has recruited and retained enough supporters that it can withstand the brutal crackdown. End of chapter 2. Damn it! You really have so little time to accomplish the big mission. Because I still needed like 2-3 more weeks to get the bomb ready. Damn. Have you played the Orwell? No, I've seen it, but I have not played it. Yeah, 75% off. $249. Alright. Adding that to the wish list and valid until the 10th. Perfect. I might have to grab that. Thank you for the tip, Froza.
No one outside the camp knew of the events of that day. No one wanted to know. The new Germany was being celebrated.
Absolutely. 75 is my number, Froza.
Like any other. Hitler lied, and the world wanted to believe him.
No, my Czech Republic.
1938, Britain
The
and
Sudetenland.
France gave in to Germany's aggressive demands to annex the Sudetenland. Soon thereafter, Austria followed.
I thought Austria was first.
When the Wehrmacht invaded Poland, Britain and France finally decided to declare war on Germany. An unleashed Wehrmacht spread murder and annihilation across Europe. The Nazis kept their promises. And we were devastated.
Alright, so we're up to 39 now. The war is afoot. Hitler made his threats come true and brought war to Europe. Sudetenland, Austria, Poland, and France are under German control before Great Britain finally declares war on Germany. Well, I mean, Great Britain declared war with the French. I mean, the whole Dunkirk was before France fell. But, yeah, I mean, Great Britain didn't really do anything until after France had fallen. We were stunned to see fascism spread throughout Europe. We had to do something or millions would die. Croatia joins the three-power pact. Germany embassies in the U.S. to be closed. Finland leaves the League of Nations. Lubenstrom, living space. That is absolutely true. Alright, so I'm going to try my best to see if I can stay awake long enough to get through Chapter 3. Wish me luck. I still got this useless guy. I wonder if I can get him killed and maybe find someone who's better. Alright, so... what are the big missions? I need to be more... okay, I need army uniform times 3. Critical intel times 3. Army uniform and critical intel. So, same. So if I get this, I can choose which one I want to do. Or I can get people out of here with a truck and army uniforms. So army uniforms are the key. So let's see where I can get army uniforms. Great. So I have no idea how to get army uniforms, so I can't really do that just yet. I need to meet people. And hopefully they can tell me what to do. All right, let's just send everyone out one-on-one. You're the religious one, aren't you? Ooh, you are crap for that, but you're good. Wow, no one really likes you. Hey, there you go. We found someone who likes you. So, just everyone head out there, go meet friends. Fred is talking to the Social Democrats, find out that he's still following their political beliefs. The woman is a convinced Social Democrat. She's willing to support us whenever she can. Gerald meets Mite with a well-connected employee of the government who might be willing to help us. Roman meets intellectual. The witness leaves. Hey, we pick up a professor. We'll find supporters among students and protesters. Okay, but he was seen. Bruno meets a businessman. He offers us his help. And Samuel meets with former unionists, and they're willing to support us. I sit on a comfortable chair in the shadow of an old apple tree in the Manholt's Alot garden. Volker played a bit of Terraria, and now I need to get some work done. Fair enough, man. Yeah, I just said thanks for the lurk and welcome. And Anna Manholt are putting food from a basket on the table: potato salad, fresh bread, and apple pie. Thank you, that's very nice of you, Bruno, but no, we're almost done, says Mr. Manholt. We'll join you in a moment. When the basket is empty, Volker places 2 chairs next to me and they take a seat. What do you say? He asks, pointing at the garden around us. How did you get it? Wasn't easy. Everyone wants an Alot garden right now. There's a long waiting list, but it helps that we have children, and of course the fact that I am Volker, that Volker is serving. Good luck with your totally communist revolution. There's food on the table. You're definitely not communist. Touche. We're going to go back to the front. Volker is wearing the Wehrmacht uniform. It's the only detail on this day that reminds us of the fact that we're at war too soon tomorrow. Where are you stationed? Are you still in France? I'm not going back to France, but it's a secret destination. All vacations have been canceled, says Volker. Something is going on. Do you know what they're planning? You can talk about this later, says Anne. Now we eat. Elsbeth, Klaus, go wash your hands and take a seat wherever you like. Anne fills the platters with sausage, potato salad, and a piece of fresh bread. Klaus wipes his hands on his pants and joins us. This looks delicious. I want more sausage, says Klaus, and holds up his plate from which all sausage is gone already. Don't eat like that. The rest of our is for our guest. Wait for Mr. Humner to finish first, says Volker Manholt. But I'm hungry now, says Klaus. Then have more potato salad, says Anne. Klaus can have my sausage. See, says Klaus, and quickly grabs the remaining piece of sausage. We are having a little break now, says Anne. Once we finish our plats, the Gutmans are coming for coffee and cake. They should be here any minute. You invited those Jews, asked Klaus. Why? Because they're our neighbors, says Anne. Now go and play in the garden. I'll call you when we have cake. What's the secret destination? Where do they send you to? I asked. What is the secret destination? I told you I don't know, says Volker. Any rumors? There are rumors. What are they? Some say we will attack Russia. Probably, yeah. What about the non-aggression pact? On one hand, it makes sense. It's what he always wanted. Hitler hates Russia and Russians. On the other hand, Germany signed a non-aggression treaty with them. It would open up a war on two fronts, which would be insane for you if you had asked me, says Volker. What I would like to know is what is happening in France. For the Reichsmark, it's easy living. Sure, there is resistance. Yes, there is still the independent part of France, the Vichy France, with its exiled government. But in the eyes of the Reichsmark, France has been defeated. Without outside help, it won't go anywhere. But Paris will always stay Paris, won't it? Well, it's occupied. It is still Paris, sure, but it's dominated by our troops, our police, our secret police. I think back to the beautiful day in Paris I had in the summer of '36. How are the Parisians? Clubs play the music the Germans want to listen to. In theaters, they perform the plays Germans want to see. And even the brothels, he looks at his wife. So I have heard, he adds, even the brothels cater to the needs of the German occupiers. A couple roughly around the same age as the Manholtz enters the garden, followed by a pale boy, a tall stature whom I estimate to be about 16 years old. Ooh, it's the Gutmans, says Volker. Let's continue our conversation later. Just one more question. Later, please, says Volker. For the second time today, we gather around the table. This time, Volker and Anne serve apple pie and coffee. The Gutmans have brought a sweet honey cake. Here, take some, says Mr. Gutman, and hands me a piece. Thank you, it's delicious. Anne sends the children into the garden to play. Get up now, will you, Elias? Let's go with Elias. Go play with Klaus. He's a nice boy, you'll see, says Mr. Gutman. Reluctantly, Elias gets up and joins Klaus and Elizabeth. I'll eat more cake. How was the trip? Asks Volker. Fine, says Louis Gutman. It was not fine, disagrees Paula Gutman. It was hot, it was sticky, and it took ages. I really miss going by car. Get over it, says Louise. At least they still let us use the trains. At least. It won't be long until they ban us from the trains, too. Don't you live on the other side of the street, I asked. They do now, says Anne. Before one of the Gutmans can answer, Louis and Volker used to work together as bookkeepers at Schmid and Sohn. Where did you live before? We used to live in a house in Sterglitz. Inherited it from my family, but not anymore, says Paula. In case you haven't guessed it already, we are Jews. We had to leave our own house in '38 and were forced to move into what they call a Jew apartment. We swapped a beautiful place against an overcrowded hole so some Aryan can live in our house. My apologies, says Louise Gutman. My wife tends to be exaggerate. We are fine, really. Our apartment is fine as well. It's a rat hole, says Paula. Thank you for the sympathy, says Paula. I'm sorry for being like that. I know it's not your fault, but it makes me angry every single day. I hear you, says Volker. I can only try to imagine how I would feel. I guess I would be just as angry as you. I am more scared than angry, says Louise. So far we had something they could take from us, but there is nothing left now. The only thing they could still take are our lives. The children yell at each other. Klaus cries of pain and comes running to the table. His nose is bleeding. Stop the bleeding. What happened? Did you fight? Asked Anne. He hit me, says Klaus, and points at Elias, who's standing further away, partly hidden behind the trees. Is that true, Elizabeth? Klaus Klaus's younger sister has come to the table now too and nods. Why did he hit you? He just hit me without reason. I haven't done anything and he hit me. Is that true, Elspeth? The girl looks at her brother and back to her mother without saying anything. I'm gonna stay out of it. I let the parents handle the situation. I tell you, says Klaus, he is crazy. He just hit me. I asked Elizabeth, says Anne. Is that true, Elizabeth? Did Elias really just hit Klaus without reason? Watch Elizabeth. Elizabeth shakes her head. Keep your mouth shut or you will regret it, yells Klaus. No, she won't. Tell us what happened, Elizabeth. What happened? Klaus said that Elias smells bad, says Elizabeth. He said that it was a disgrace that they lived in our street. What else did he say? He said that Ellis and his family were vermin, and once he was 18, he would join the SS and kill them. You know what? Volker steps up to his son and slaps him in the face. He turns to Gutmann. I am sorry. I really am deeply sorry. Please accept my apologies and be assured that this is not the way I raised my son. I'm going to back up the dad. We are leaving, says Louise. I know you mean well, but we can't do this, I am afraid. See, says Klaus, they are cowards. It's what Jews do. Without warning, Volker slaps his son in the face a second time. You shut up now. I don't know who you are anymore, yells Volker. I mean, it's not really his fault. It's to blame the propaganda. And Volker tried to convince the Gutmanns to stay in vain. When the family has left the garden, there is a loud humming coming from the sky. An air raid, but there was no warning, says Anne. Look up at the sky. I look up and see hundreds, if not thousands, of airplanes flying in one direction. There was no warning because they are ours, says Volker. Where are they going? East, says Volker. Something is happening. Something big. Alright. So, morale, net negative, or net 0, and +7 supporters. Germany invades Russia. Finland declares war on Russia. Hungary declares war on Russia. I have somebody who needs our help, says Samuel Worsner as he enters a room. The child of a friend of mine is diagnosed with epilepsy, and the Nazi doctors want to send her to one of their atrocious racial hygiene hospitals. Do you know what that means? No one comes back from those hospitals. We must hide the child and her parents, says Samuel. I can't abandon my friend at a moment like this. Let's see if we can find a solution. I honestly don't understand how people could support such things. What it would mean to be human if you murder those who need your help and can't protect themselves. Find a hideout for the family. Okay. We can see if we can get around to that if we have time. High risk mission. Okay, so this would get me to an army uniform. And so would importing books. So let's talk to the workers. Finally, something you can do. And write slogan on walls would get us access to this one. So sadly, no one can do this one on their own. Oh, what happened to my bicycle? I've had that bicycle for years. Can you two manage that? Oh, it looks like only one's necessary. So, yeah, let's contact the priest. Is it a Catholic priest? Yes, it is a Catholic priest. So Roman, you can do that. Oh, crap. 2 were required. Damn. Alright. Let's cancel this one. And, yeah. Head out there and find a hideout for the family. We lost 1 supporter. We got 5 marks in donations. Rumen brings a family with a disabled child to a befriended priest outside of Berlin. The priest promises to hide them and make sure they won't be harmed. No suspicion. Perfect. At night, Bruno witnesses panic. Hide. Okay. At night, Bruno writes slogans on walls in Tempelhof. Bruno panics. Stay calm and move on. The panic attack is over. Many people see the paint, and we got 7 supporters. And we can go out and meet the priest. 4 supporters, but Samuel was seen. -6 morale, plus 10 supporters. 7,000 murdered in massacre. In Lviv, British bombers carry out day attacks on Kyle. Wages are dropping. Roman Thum is incensed during tonight's meeting. This is the Reichstag fire all over again. It's so unfair. What is unfair? Well, now that Hitler has broken the truce with Stalin and invaded Russia, they're back at persecuting the communists again. And now my father is in jail for no damned reason. If there's something you can do to help, I need a lawyer for my family. 50 marks. You know what, dude? I'm sorry, but we can't spare any money right now. Yeah, sorry, Roman. Ah, damn. I can import the books now, but the heat is on over there. Let's see if we can get some more supporters. +6, alright. Can evaporate police records. We'll speak about actions. Okay, yeah. See if we can get me a few more supporters. Forced laborer. Okay. Oh, we moved our headquarters up north. Interesting. Okay, so this is going to be the priority. Okay, you're not that good at that. So that should give me access to steal a uniform. And I need to spread books before I can possibly do any of that. Go meet with them. These books might be easier to import than these books, just because of all of the police and everything around. Yeah, just that's probably too dangerous. Talk with the Christians. And talk with the forced laborer. That should be safe enough. $32 supporters, 10 marks this week. Roman meets with the Christians. 4 supporters, I'll take it. We're following an SA officer. He was seen, but morale up. Bruno meets with a forced laborer. To an area where forced laborers are kept. But Bruno was seen again. Damn it. Samuel meets with former unionists. Got a new supporter. I'll take it. -2 morale, plus 11 supporters. Hey, starships. Did you finish your stream? Oh, yes, you did. Okay, so I'll close that. How'd your day go? We must raise Moscow to the ground. Great Britain and the Soviet Union signed assistance agreement. German troops attack Malta. I hear laughter before I enter the room. Roman sits at the table and is telling a funny story about one of his neighbors. He always does such crazy things. One time, as the Nazis were marching past his house, he took a few rotten tomatoes and threw them at the soldier, shrieking, "Get out of my street, dirty Nazi swine." He only stopped when he ran out of tomatoes. His wife could barely calm the Nazis down. He wasn't arrested? Well, he is a pretty reckless guy. His wife is the only reason he is not in prison. I'm not sure how much longer it will be before he has real problems. We can probably try to get him a hideout. He's a really nice person. It would be terrible if something happened to him, answers Roman. Okay. So yes, I can try to steal a uniform. Convinced forced laborers. Help organize a strike. Extreme risk. Ooh, okay, that's not so good. I can do a red herring mission because, I mean, my suspicion levels are getting up pretty high. I can set up a hideout or collect money. But I really need the damn books. Yeah, let's send you because that should unlock the books. Wow. So the danger is already pretty much off the charts with this one. Ooh. That's maxed out danger. Do it. Yeah, let's go ahead and just set up a hideout. That seems nice and easy. I'll give myself that job. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. So Bruno's record has been taken care of. So I can send him into the mission without increasing the risk. And Roman only has one. So Roman might be less suspicious than the other guys. Not by much. Okay, what if I send you 3? Yeah, that's probably the best I can do. Damn. Alright. So who can go meet with the conservatives? Yeah, you can go do that. And yeah, you go set up a hideout. "36 supporters, 11 marks. So we got a new hideout. This is the bad one. Fight. Okay, they've been seen, but they were not arrested and they were not killed. So I take that as a win. Fred meets with a group of conservatives. Damn it. The witness leaves. And Fred was seen. Damn. While these people are no leftists, they find Hitler and the Nazis are the main problem right now. Great. So I should be able to import books. Alliance offered to Japan submarines and planes instead of tanks. Rogatchow and Schlobin fallen. Okay. Roman Thum looks flabbergasted as he enters the room. I have to tell you something, he says. My neighbors, a married couple, both party members. I had a decent relationship with them before, and I know for a fact that they couldn't have children. But then I saw them together yesterday with a small child, a little girl, and 4 years old, and she spoke Russian. Where they got her, and they told me that they were her new parents, adopted from Russia, new parents. Do you understand? The Nazis are taking healthy children from their Russian families and sending them to Germany. They even gave her the new name Helga. Never heard about that, actually. I can't believe it myself. The worst thing is they couldn't even seem to understand what might be wrong in the situation. Okay. Morale is getting a little bit low. But we can do a book smuggle. It takes 2 people. Ooh, you're kind of high on suspicion at the moment. How many books do I need to unlock the next... So yeah, I need 3 books to be able to do the next thing. And we need secrecy and literacy. So you got 4 points, 4 points, 8 points. Ooh, you're good. 7 points. Should I risk army uniforms, though? The danger's pretty high because you both are kind of wanted. But yeah, you're secretive and you're literate. You're the only 2 I've got to choose from who can do that. How can I talk to the Christian community? I thought I already did that. So yeah, these are the only people I can interact with. Okay, so let's see. Social Democrat. Alright, Bruno, you're the man. Samuel can take care of that one. And, ooh. Well, You're very prepared, even though he hates monarchists. Let's go ahead and do that. We lost 2 supporters. We got 11 marks. Bruno. Bruno was seen, so suspicion is up for him, but we do have a new supporter. Samuel also was seen, but another supporter. Gerald was not seen, but another supporter. Very good. And this is a dangerous one. He makes it back without any trouble, but only with 2 books. Damn it, so I have to do it again. And Roman was seen. It's still raining lightly, but the air is still warm. I walked to the movies for my secret meeting. I'm the only customer in line at the ticket booth. I pay for the ticket and enter the movie theater. The room is nearly empty, just a handful of people trying to sit as far away from each other as possible. Most of them are in the back, some in the middle, no one in the front. Far away from everyone else, I take a seat in the front row. The Warschau, the official news magazine, is showing reports of victories from the Eastern Front. I count 7 more moviegoers in the room. Most sit alone, but a young couple 2 rows behind me seem much more interested in each other than the program. Someone takes a seat behind me and whispers, "Don't turn around." I keep looking at the screen where Hitler is honoring the general for his achievements. "It's good you came," he says from behind. I recognize that voice. It's Hannah. I met her in Paris in 1936. Back then she was trying to convince me to work with the Soviets. Seeing her now working as a Soviet agent doesn't come as a surprise. The movie starts. It's a romantic comedy called Happiness is for Everyone. You are mistaken. I never met you before, and I have never been to Paris. Do you understand? Sure. Listen, Hitler's campaign in the East is very different from the one in France. People need to be told about this. On screen, Albert Schumann and Irmi Fahl, an engaged couple, are arguing about his sluggish career. This is not a war which soldiers fight each other. This is a war against the Red Army and against all civilians. We are still in the process of proving that this occurred under official orders, but since it keeps happening in the same way, I think that it is people in Germany need to learn about this. Yes, I have. 1 week after the German attack, I was part of the Red Army squad. We were defending a village, but we didn't stand a chance against the Wehrmacht. I managed to escape, but the rest of my squad was taken prisoner. The German officers had them line up on the main road. He spoke to his soldiers and told them that these people were thoroughly Bolshevized, that they were subhuman and had died. The prisoners were forced to get on their knees. Did they arrest him? Oh yeah, totally. Good opportunity for a laugh track there. On screen, Albert Schumann mimics an excessively lazy employee. The audience laugh. The officer pulled his pistol, stood behind each prisoner, and shot them in the head one by one. The officer was SS. It was just a regular work mark. There was no SS. I know what they look like, says the woman who insists that she's not Hannah. On screen, Irmi tries to convince her mother that Albert will make a good husband. They get married, blah blah blah. I waited for the soldiers to leave the village and then secretly followed the German troops eastward. I was hoping to get to the front to reunite with my troops. I came to a settlement where an old man and his wife hung from a tree. The Germans had put a sign around their necks to warn that others never to cooperate with partisans. From then on, I saw people hung from trees in almost every village I passed. This is a strategy of the Red Army to fall back behind enemy lines and attack their blind side, but what I know for sure is that every dead German soldier in the Wehrmacht murders dozens of innocent civilians out of revenge and cruelty. Are you really sure they weren't SS? Waffen SS and task forces follow the regular troops, but the Wehrmacht does its part, I believe me. On my journey, I came through a village that seemed to be entirely empty at first. I thought the villagers had fled. No, they didn't flee. They were all still there. Albert Schumann, now happily married, has become even lazier at work, which sparks hysterical laughter in the cinema. I found them in a pit nearby. The Wehrmacht had shot them and thrown them into a dirt hole. All of them, men, women, and children alike. Schumann is being bribed by his boss. Great. They had tried to burn the bodies, but the damp weather foiled them. I went through the pile to see if there were any survivors. It was awful. It reeked like burned fresh and decay. I threw up several times. In the end, it was all for nothing. They had killed everyone. This is not regular war. This is not like France. These troops have not come to conquer and rule. They have come to annihilate. Their enemies aren't just soldiers. Their enemy is everybody, including the innocent villagers. Don't you get it? This has always been Hitler's goal. He wants to exterminate the Slavs and the Jews, to rid the East of all subhumans, to create a home for the Aryans. Almost no one thought they would, says Hannah. But I knew she was right. Even in Mein Kampf, the book Hitler wrote almost 20 years ago, he had already planned out what Hannah was describing now. On screen, Ermi saves her husband's career and Albert seizes his second chance. The world needs to know about this. If we could find the official orders which proves that this isn't some mercenary Wehrmacht squad committing crimes on its own initiative, we need to prove that this was officially ordered from above, that this is systematic. Alright, I'll try. If you manage to find that order and put it in the right hands, it might change the course of the war. On screen, the plot has cleared its final hurdle. Ermi and Albert's accidental divorce and is now heading towards a happy ending. You mean America would join the war if they knew? Maybe. I need to go now. Contact me through the usual means if you learn anything. And then she's gone. On screen, the happy couple decides to remarry. On my way home, I think about the atrocities that Hannah told me about. Could it be true? I trust the Nazis to commit almost any crime, but full-scale genocide, if the order Hannah was talking about exists, it would clarify things. Finding the order could change everything, not only for us, but for the entire world. Finding the order could change everything, but only for us. Oh, I already read that. Alright, so we're losing morale fast. Wehrmacht defeats the 13th Army, airstrikes on Moscow, Great German Art Exhibition opened. I feel like everyone around me is disappearing, says Fred. During tonight's meeting, I miss my brother. Well, not exactly. He was drafted into the army, and just like that, he was gone, and many others, young men, have been drafted too. Oh, 37. That's getting dangerous. Because if that hits 0, my group disbands. Oh, Samuel. Level up. Very nice. That's going to get you a secrecy level. Roman. Can you just do one thing without getting caught, please? And now I don't even have enough money to do the red herring mission. Or the book mission. Wow. This is not looking good. Alright, go out there and get me a couple more books. Alright, Roman, you could probably manage this one, I hope. It's a very low risk mission. Situation and hate the regime, they might be able to join us, but that's pretty high danger, and that doesn't help much. But damn it, we gotta try. Those who aren't serving in the army must help the war effort in other ways, so I have to assist with the Winter Hilf's work in collecting blanket, shoes, food, and money for the soldiers. When I arrive in the assigned neighborhood, I meet a silver-haired man in his 60s who extends his hand. Hi there, I'm Wagner. He shakes my hand with a smile. Looks like we'll be collecting together this morning. Ready? We walk to our first apartment. I'm trying to hide my discomfort, but Wagner is perceptive. Asking these people for money is uncomfortable. Berlin is already suffering under the rationing, I say. It doesn't feel right to keep asking for more. Wagner seems generous of spirit. Well, wartime is hard for everybody, but we're already here, so let's make the best of it, shall we? We knock on the first door. It's a pleasant family that isn't unhappy to see us. They give us a blanket and a bit of money. Wagner hands the mother a token to show that they have given something. What a good start. Indeed, I have. I've been serving this country for a long time. We spent a few hours going from door to door. Most people are friendly to us. Some are annoyed. Wagner takes it all in stride. The last few we meet are quite pleased with the swift victories of the Wehrmacht and hopeful for a quick end to the war. Well, Wagner says, I do not share their enthusiasm, but that's because I fought in the last war, and like I said, it's hard on everyone. Well, I say no. It's not that I'm speaking against the ability of our army, of course. I served on the Eastern Front back in the Great War, and let me tell you, invading Russia is a mistake, and not just because you're fighting on multiple fronts. I'd rather not get into detail, my friend. It was hideous, to be frank. Suffice to say that the Wehrmacht can't make a knockout punch before winter. Everyone will suffer. All the guns in the world can't shoot down a Russian winter. Amen on that. It was a pleasure to meet you. I say. Wagner takes his leave with a smile. His words still ring in my ears. What if the war goes on for years? Active former journalists. Roman was seen again. God damn it, Roman. But 4 more supporters. Forced laborers. Witness. The witness leaves. And the workers are inspired, but Bruno was seen. 13 new supporters, though, is great. This is the dangerous one. The essay. Shit. Gerald was injured, but we do get a book. +1 morale. Yay. U.S. Special Envoy meets with Stalin. Massacre in Chisinau der Gassmann premieres. When I arrive at the meeting, the others are reminiscing. Do you guys remember the Summer Olympics? I miss those days, says Roman. Yes, of course, I don't mean just that. Oh, the nightlife. For a while, the city was the center of the world. So many clubs, music, dancing, people enjoyed themselves, and the Nazis were at least pretending to be decent. Nowadays, yeah, it's a much different place now. I wish there was a way to go back. Oh, yeah, Geralt, you're not looking that good. Member injured. Members can get injured during the missions. This means that they are weakened and might even die. If injured again, they will get better over time, or you can heal them using health packs. Got it. We got 2 people with maxed out heat, and the only one who doesn't have any heat has a freaking bandage on his head, which is not going to help. Okay. So, who would be good to go get money? They should be reasonably safe. So, secrecy and literacy. That's a lot of risk. And I'm out of money to be able to do anything else anyway. So... here. Geralt, go with him. Does that increase your money a little bit? Maybe a little bit. Not much. $16 marks coming in. Let's go see if we can raise some money. Witness. Geralt thinks he's been seen. I wonder what makes you think you're so distinctive, Geralt. Okay, this is... Witness. Okay, you got the uniform, hide. And we got a supporter. Fred was seen, Roman thinks he was seen. Ah, shit. Roman has been arrested. The morale drops to 34. Mark victorious in Smolensk. Bishop publicly attacks NS leadership for mass killing. Reich Labor Service extended. Geralt Klein expresses a dilemma to us in our meeting. I have to admit German citizens, and as a member of the resistance, I feel conflicted about this war. Just as this war has the potential to be even more destructive than the Great War, perhaps much more, millions of lives lost all over the world. The Wehrmacht has enjoyed such swift victories. Would it be better if they just won quickly rather than getting bogged down in a protracted war with millions more dead on all sides? Even if great numbers die fighting, just imagine all the Europe and Russia ruled by Hitler. If the rumors of the camps are true, what happens then? Well, then Stalin takes over. The room is silent. So yeah, we're down to dangerous levels of morale. So yeah, I still need 2 more army uniforms. She sends us illegal books to support our case. Ooh. Hell yeah, I'll take A pack of 6 books. Hell yeah. How much would I get for selling books? 17 to 21 for the sale of 3 books. It's probably not worth it. Who would be able to observe without destroying the... Oh no! I lost my uniform. And I don't even see where I'd be able to get a 3rd uniform. Ooh. Yeah, none of the information I see here would lead me to a 3rd uniform. Weapon, yes. Uniform, no. When I enter my workplace, I see a note on my desk to see my boss immediately. I knock on Mr. Hess's door. I hear him through the door. Come on in. Mr. Hess, a bald, middle-aged man, sits behind the desk and looks at me over the rim of the wire glasses. Mr. Huber, thank you for coming so quickly. Please take a seat. Mr. Ubner, how long have you been working with us? 8 years? Yes, I'm sure you are wondering why I called you in here. As you know, our great fatherland is at war. We are finally fighting our arch enemy, the Bolsheviks. Did you listen to the Führer's speech last week? This is getting even trickier. Of course, I didn't listen to it. I wanted to, but I couldn't. Too bad. You should plan ahead next time. As the Führer explained in the great speech, we have reached the Endkampf. The German people have arrived at their destiny, and now is the time to fulfill it. Providence has sent us a Führer to lead us to our destiny. The fight against the Bolsheviks, the Jews, and the subhuman is our destiny, and we need to fulfill it, he continues. Well, the Führer said that we all have to make sacrifices in order to help fulfill the glorious destiny of ours, all of us. Even the Führer is making sacrifices, as he said in his speech. I have led this company for more than 25 years. I have been here every single day, never sick, not one day. That's my sacrifice. Sure. I know you have been doing a good job too, Mr. Under. No question about that, and I wouldn't ask you for a sacrifice if it wasn't absolutely necessary and for the greater good for our German destiny. We need to cut your wage by 20%. The books are balanced, the company's doing fine. Cut my wage by 20%, but how do you expect me to live? Yeah, let's go with that one. The situation right now might look good, but as Vira said, we need to plan ahead for a wartime full of privation. I'm afraid there is no other solution. Think of the Fuhrer's words. Everyone has to contribute. Alright, I nod and leave. With this wage cut, there will be difficult times ahead, and I can't shake the feeling that all this talk about German destiny is simply an opportunity for my boss to increase his profits. Geralt has recovered from his wounds. That's great. Okay, we're trying to get some money. God damn it, Bruno. $25, but you've been seen again. We're watching the SA officer, and it was successful. Yay. The morale of the group is very low, and so is your own. Some members openly discuss giving up and just hoping for the best. You don't dare say it out loud, but you are thinking about it too. New dangers and terrors every week. Life or death decisions, attempting to just leave it all behind. Bombing raids. Great Britain. Travel in low season. Geralt looks nervously during the meeting. I ask him if he's well, and he says, I just can't stop thinking about my family in Russia. Yes, my grandfather came from there, and I still have an aunt and uncle and a few cousins there. He says, I've heard that the Wehrmacht invasion is the largest in human history. I've heard terrible things about the fighting. I'm so worried. I'm so sorry. You must be terribly worried. Please let us know. We are here for you. Okay, we're at 22. All right. We're just going to go dancing. All of the boys going to the club. Hey, Roman has been released from prison. That's good, at least. We travel to the east of Berlin and visit the nightclub that's still playing what the Nazis called Negro music, despite the ban of the un-German music. We dance all night like there is no tomorrow and have a wonderful time. When we finally leave, the day is already dawning. This felt good. Morale up 50. The noise from the air raid sirens wakes me up. It's pitch black outside. I can hear hurried footsteps rushing down the stairs. I put on my coat and shoes and follow the white arrows along the staircase, pointing the way to the air raid shelter. Let's go fast. Klaus and Hermann, the two teenagers left in our building, are standing in the front of the fire door. Finally, Herr Ubner, it was high time. We were about to shut the door. Hermann makes a grim face and writes my name on a list and opens the door. The boys follow me in. There are a number of people from our building. I recognize Klaus's mother, Anne Manholt, and her sister, Elizabeth, and as well as Hildegard Pitz, Hermann's mother. In a corner are the Obsts, a friendly elderly couple that lives on the ground floor. Good evening, I say, and I take my seat next to Anne. Hildegard, sitting opposite us, waves to me. Klaus and Hermann close and lock the fire door. Hail Hitler, we are in charge of the shelter, says Hermann. If anyone is missing, raise a hand. I think we're all here. No one raises his hand. Good. Hermann nods and makes a note. Klaus stands next to him and makes a serious face. We are expecting a British bomber squadron, medium-sized, within the next half hour. Ach, nothing will happen, says Hildegard. Our air defense will take them out. They'll never reach Berlin. They've reached Berlin before. Yes, but that was before they built the new anti-aircraft stations. The Fuhrer said so in his last speech, says Hildegard. From today forward, not a single enemy plane will reach Berlin. That's what he said. If you are so sure about that, why are you even in the shelter? Comments Mrs. Obst from the corner. Are you questioning the Fuhrer? Let's just all calm down. I'm sure Mr. Obst is just as fond of the Fuhrer as anyone here. Since when are you trained air raid helpers? I asked the boys. 2 years, says Ermin. I have been in training since May, says Klaus. Well done, boys. That must make you proud, I say. A loud bang interrupts all conversations. The room shakes and the lights go off. We were hit, yells Klaus. We were not hit. That was close, but not our building, says Herman. I check my head. Seems like everything is fine. A child, Elizabeth, is crying. A man whimpers. Is it all right? It's all right. Everything is going to be fine. A woman's voice tries to comfort them. Let's check out the old dude. I hold my hand in front of me and move slowly through the room towards the voice. Is everyone all right? Is anyone injured? Can someone find a light? A match is lit. I am concerned. I see concerned faces. Then it gets brighter. Klaus holds up a Hildenberg light. We weren't hit, says Herman, but it was very close. Probably somewhere on our street. How do you know? There's no debris, and the shaking wasn't severe enough, says Herman. Mrs. Obst is holding her husband in her arms, his face buried in her chest, trembling and whimpering. Can I help you? He can't stand the dark, says Mrs. Obst. He will be fine in a bit. Just give him time. What kind of man is this, says Hildegard. Crying like a child, what kind of an example do you set for the young people? Mrs. Obst holds her husband even tighter. Alright, leave him alone. I mean, really, what is this? Look at those boys. She points at Ermin and Klaus. They're children, yet they show more courage than you. Cowardly intellectuals. What can you expect, says Hildegard. Hildegard, please. Something flies through the room and hits Hildegard on the head. Hildegard holds her hand to her head. On the ground next to her lies a tin can. Mrs. Obst is holding another can in her hand and says, "One more word, you stupid cow, and you'll get this one too." When I try to interfere, Mrs. Obst shakes the can in her hand and says, "Let me talk or you'll get one too. My husband served in the last great war you fools started. He brought this back from the front with him. What he left there was his soul," says Mrs. Obst. "So don't you tell me anything about courage, Mrs. No plane can make it to Berlin, or I swear to the Almighty, you'll never make it out of the shelter alive." "I am fine," says Mrs. Obst. "Just tell her to keep her distance." The loud impact of another explosion shakes the bunker. "This one was even closer," says Anne. "Yes, but still not our building," says Klaus. Someone knocks on the door. "Hello," says a voice from outside. "Would you let us in, please? The bombers are incoming." "Who is that?" asks Anne. "I think I know," says Klaus. "My guess is that it's Mr. Gutman." Klaus walks to the door, but Ermin stops him. "Hands off, I'll do it." He shoves the younger boy aside. "Who is there?" Herman asks. "This is Louise Gutman and Paula Elias. Please let us in. It's really dangerous outside. The buildings down the road were hit. The fire is spreading. Don't you hear what they are saying? They are our neighbors, for God's sakes." "No, I'm in charge of this bunker. It's my duty to stick to the rules, and the rules say the bunker is for Aryans only. Go away." He says the last words loud. making sure the Gutmans can hear him on the other side of the door. I grab Ermin by the arm and pull him to the door, but he fights me off. "Stop it," shouts Hildegard. "My son is in charge here, and he's absolutely right. Jews are not allowed in the shelter. What are you doing? It is illegal. I will report you." Something flies through the air and hits the wall next to Ermin's chest. I turn around and see Miss Opes ready with another tin can. "The next one will hit you in the head. I'm really good at this," she says. "Now would someone please open that damned door," says Mrs. Opes, her tin can still aimed at Ermin. "No, Klaus, you go," says Anne. Her son stutters. "What, me? They are Jews. We're not supposed to." Anne grabs her son and yells, "You open that door now." Klaus slowly opens the bunker door, his eyes downcast. Ermin has taken a seat next to his mother. Both stare at the family of 3 entering the shelter. "Thank you," says Paula Gutman. "We know we're not allowed here, but we're terribly scared. It looked like the fire would reach our building, and Elias, he couldn't breathe because of the smoke." Her son looks pale. "Thank you for letting us in," says Louise Gutman. "I am sure the decision wasn't easy." He looks at Herman and Hildegard staring at the wall. "And I know what you are risking right now. I wouldn't have asked if it wasn't for Elias." "Oh, stop it," says Miss Opes. "You are human beings, so are we. Well, some of us at least. So, of course, we'll let you in." We spend the rest of the evening in silence. There are no further attacks, and soon enough we hear the all-clear signal. The Gutmans are the first to leave the bunker. Hildegard stops me at the corridor and says, "What happened here tonight was an outrage. Normally I turn you all in, all of you." She looks at Anne and Klaus, who are looking away. "Because what you did was against the law," says Hildegard. "But since we are neighbors and we have known each other for such a long time, I'll look past it," she says. "But this was the first and last time. If I see any of you helping a Jew again, I will turn you in. You know where I work. You know who I know. Don't try me. Come on now, Herman," says Hildegard. I turn to Anne. She means it, but she won't turn us in. That would make her own son look bad. After all, he was in charge of the bunker, and he was overthrown by an old woman. We laugh, even though there is nothing really funny about this. Morale is up, at least. That was probably the most important thing. During tonight's meeting, Fred complains that he can't sleep. "Sometimes I hear air raid sirens in my sleep, even when there are none." It seems allies are only increasing the frequency of their attacks, and you have to wonder how many other Germans feel the way we do. Is it possible for Hitler to lose popular support for the war if we feel the pain here at home? It's too early to imagine losing popular support for the war. That is going well for the Nazis, I'd say. But just imagine, what if the RAF and the Allies decided it was worth it to firebomb civilians? What would that mean for us? And I think this might be where I might leave it. Damn, I didn't get that uniform back. I was hoping I'd get the uniform back now that he got out of jail, but it seems like it was confiscated and will not be returned. Which means I won't be able to complete any of the missions. Because literally all of them require at least 3 uniforms. So that sucks. But yeah, I think this is probably where I'm going to end it for tonight. Huh. Yeah, we're getting up to about 2 o'clock, so I really should get to sleep. I went a little bit later than I should have yesterday, and I kind of paid the price for it during the day. So let me go ahead and get to sleep, and we'll continue this later on. I doubt I'll be playing this tomorrow. I'll probably save it for Sunday. So if you're interested and you want to check out the game, it's only about 15 bucks on Steam at the moment. And frankly, you know, for a $15 game, I'm getting quite a few hours out of this. It was about 4 hours yesterday. And we're on about 3 hours today. So we're already at 7 hours, which is pretty good. And there's a lot of intricacies, because I haven't been able to do any of the big missions yet because I either get unlucky or didn't plan well enough in advance. So there's quite a bit of content. Excuse me. But yeah, there's quite a bit of content I'm not making it to. So this might be a good opportunity for anyone out there who might want to pick it up and play it. To be able to do so and come back on Sunday to help me out in hopefully completing the game. I think on Sunday I'm going to aim to finish the rest of Chapter 3 as well as Chapter 4. But until then, I hope you all have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with me. Sleep well, and we'll catch you next time. Bear with me a few minutes. I'm going to take a look to see who's online and pick out someone for a raid. But in the meantime, we'll catch you tomorrow for probably Ashton Year. But don't hold me to that. Goodbye.